Hello and welcome to my Elite Dangerous, my personal fleet carrier, my second look, Beta 2, Planetary Exploration. So, we need to see where we're going to go first. This left. This left. We went to A10A, I think it's this one. We're going to A10B. Let's get going. Be sure to look to the bottom right hand corner of the video and press that subscribe button. There's a misconception in that subscribing to one's channel costs you money. Nope, it does not. Unless you have a premium version. But you also get notified if when I produce more videos, and it helps me out with YouTube.
Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
And underneath the video, in the description, you'll find ways of donating. It's been a rough year for us, and the YouTube channel requires so much funding for storage and equipment and everything that goes along with it. It's been very difficult. So if you're willing to help us out, you'll see ways to donate. And underneath the video to the left, you'll see my YouTube channel page where I've created over 680 videos just since the beginning of January. So I've taken you on this journey pretty much completely. And everywhere I've gone and most of what I've done is in a video. So be sure to check those out. It's just a little over 4 months worth. So it's all newer content. So this is one of our viewers' favorites, is going and running around in SRV on a planet, because we get lots of hits and many viewers watch our planetary exploration, so we have to keep that in the rotation. Our viewers decide what we do based on the number of views, and this is one of the highs, along with asteroid mining and cargo running. So we're just taking the planets one at a time, and we're landing on each one of them and creating a video reference of all of the planets that we can land on. And we'll look for the brighter side. And I do use an Oculus Rift S VR headset, because sometimes I get people asking. So when I remember, I try to mention it. Try to look for different kinds of textures, as many textures as possible.
Orbital flight engaged.
Usually do a look around so you can see the area that we're looking to land in. Okay. See what it looks like. Doesn't look too bad. We'll find out when we get there. Is this alternate? So we have to feather down just to make sure it doesn't start going too fast. You can kind of tell the gravity just by descending. Doesn't seem too bad, because it tries to slow down when I let off of the thrusters. Like we're on the side of a hill. Cis alternate. Cis alternate. Get to more of a valley. Okay. We'll keep going that direction, but we'll see if we can find a blue spot. It's not telling us that it's good or bad. Oh, cis landing? That's why. Cis landing.
Landing gear deployed.
Okay. That's what I was looking for. Is this down?
Low gravity warning.
Cis dark? Cis ship.
Ship dismissed.
She'll go hang out in orbit and return when we call.
Cargo scoop deployed.
Let's see what we can find. The back radar, you'll see your sensor. That's raw materials that's showing up at the bottom. So we'll head this direction. The tighter the signal, the closer it is. The broader the signal, like it is right now, the further it is. And we'll need the combat mode because we'll have to shoot the rocks to get the fragments out of it. Checking the lights to make sure they were off. And they are. Let's go and do a scan around just to see what we got. Have to do that every once in a while just to see what's here. This is a little tighter signal. Could be multiple objects in this. See, it's starting to break apart. The one toward the left is a little tighter, so it's probably the closest one. There it is. You can tell the gravity by how high they go, and they're not going too far. That tungsten is what we need for the live account, but this is not live, so this is not helping the live account. What you do in beta stays in beta. That's a grade 5, that tungsten, or grade 4 because it's raw materials. Yeah, raw materials doesn't have a grade 5, it only goes through grade 4. So it'll be good when we have the fleet carrier in our live account, so when we do things like this, it's also helping our future. This is not helping our future, it just kind of gives us an idea of how we want to do things when it does go live. And you see the distribution on our engines are very low. That's to keep us from sliding around so much, or we'd slide around even more then it's bad enough, you know, at the minimum engines. But this is definitely one thing we're going to be doing when we go live. We're still going to be gathering raw materials on a very regular basis. And when we asteroid mine, you'll see materials show up at the bottom of the list, the contact list. Same type of materials. But this is one of my favorite things to do, is the planetary exploration. Do this on a regular basis, just like asteroid mining and cargo running, going out to Dav's Hope, collecting manufactured materials, and lately we've been bounty hunting. Watch my Under Attack video that came out in the last few days. A support ship of the wanted stingers and skimmers came after us. And for me, that's not fun. I don't enjoy that part. When the ship comes after my SRV, it's like I have very little recourse but to try to hold out until the security forces come and rescue us. And that's what happened. Security forces showed up, they blew up the NPC, and we were saved. Took them about 6-7 minutes though, and I thought there was a good chance I was gonna die. Because of course I can't shake him because he's a ship and I have nowhere to hide. I'm on the planet. I did get a chance to shoot at him once. But, I mean, my shields kept replenishing, and I'm sure his shields would replenish until the security forces came, and then he was over. They unloaded on him until he went poof. You need to watch that video. That was pretty wild. So I have exited quicker to the menu at Dav's Help, because trying to keep that from happening. And some of you, I'm sure, would rather try to fight him. Well, that sounds all good and great, but I'm not as much of a combat pilot as you might be. So that wouldn't have worked out quite so good for me. So it works better for me to gain combat ranking and get to the menu as soon as I can to reset the scene. Now, if any signals come up on the top of that back radar sensor, then that would be manufactured materials, like put together by somebody. Something or somebody put it together. The ones on the bottom are more natural, they're more raw. But in this game, you have to have credits and you have to have materials. So those are two major parts. And of course, you have to have fuel. So we have to have tritium with the fleet carriers. Either we buy it or we asteroid mine it. One or the other. Running out of materials. Now, of course, you can keep driving and they'll show up eventually. And actually, you can stay on the planet indefinitely. You don't have to bring down the ship because we can do synthesis. So I talk about synthesis quite a bit and how to do it. You can use synthesis for fuel, your ammo, and for your repair. For an example, Sys-Right. Go over to modules. For our ammo, it's the dual repeater. And we can reload 134 times. For our fuel, we could refuel 134 times. And for our hull structure, we can repair 101 times. And the more you're out here collecting, the more times you can do it. So you could stay out here indefinitely. And you can even create limpets. Sys-Right? Probably especially in the ship. I don't know if we have the cargo. Yeah, in the ship we would do yeah, we do limpets in the ship. Just go to the cargo rack and do that, and you can create limpets. It's called synthesis, and I even have videos on synthesis. It's pretty neat. So you use your materials for the engineers and for synthesis, so both. It's important on both of them. When you're modding your modules, you need it. You need materials, lots of materials. I had spent probably a good 6 to 8 months gathering materials, and I had quite a bit. Then I bought 3 more cutters and 3 more pythons, and it's eaten about all of it up. So we're going to have to keep making trips out to Dav's Hope and Jameson Crash Site and do things like we're doing here. Planetary explorations to find materials. Check out our time. Yeah, we can do a few more. But there is a big necessity to do what we're doing. because you're going to find out real fast, if you don't already know, you're going to need materials. If you work with the engineers and you use the synthesis, you're going to need lots of materials. It is a grind. And most of this game is a grind. And get the really nice toys. Yeah, it's definitely a grind to get the really nice stuff like the fleet carriers. Yeah, that's a pretty picture. You can see the normal rocks are a brownish color and the material rocks are more dark. Much more darker color. Oops, those are full. Yeah, we can't take any more sulfur. We filled it up, and that's why you go to material traders to move the materials around so you can take more of them. You trade it for materials that you're lack of, so you can gather more sulfur. But the raw material trader is 9 jumps away. Sis, ship.
Ship recalled.
And find out where she's gonna land.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Sometimes it takes her a little while. Here she comes. Sis down. Well, I appreciate you coming along. Make sure you find that subscribe button in the lower right hand corner of the video. Make sure that you look into the description and find the ways to donate. Sis landing.
Landing gear retracted.
And look under the video to the left and you'll find my YouTube channel, GFM_RDG. Where you'll find those 680 more videos to watch.
Frameshift drive charging.
Had to wait for the mass lock to go off, and it did.
3, 2, 1. Engage.
Need to be at 90 degrees to see the escape vector. Sis left. It says it's on the compass. It says it's downward. Is this alternate? And we go back to our home base, the RGFC. It is so nice to have your own traveling home base. I like it. To me, it's the most important asset I will own. It is very important. Yeah, I was just checking that orientation. I don't know. We'll see when we get closer. Is this right? Yeah, on the limpid thing, cargo rack. 17 times we can create 4 limpids. It says 400, but it really means 4. So 17 times 4 is what you can create limpids right now, based on the materials that we have. Sis left.
Docking request accepted. Proceed to your designated path, Commander. Request accepted.
And the first day on May the 11th, when we purchased this fleet carrier, the second purchasing and transporting tritium video, watch that one. The fleet carrier starts shooting at something behind me, and then the security forces come in and they start shooting at something behind me. So I need to go back and watch the video and see if I can see what was behind me on the radar. I haven't went back to look. But the fleet carrier is pretty erratic in its firing. It kind of fires everywhere. I think there was some friendly fire in there. It didn't go through my shields or anything, but it constantly was saying I was under attack. I went ahead and went into the hangar and let them take care of whatever that was.
Landing gear deployed.
But you should watch that video too. It was pretty wild. And you'll see, like above us, there's little pods that that the laser beams come out of.
Docking confirmed. Ship is secure. Your ship has docked, Commander.
Alright, well, I appreciate you coming along. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. You get notified when I make new videos. Helps me with YouTube. Consider donating. That would help us now. And underneath the video to the left, watch our 680 plus videos at GFM_RDG. So until the next time, I appreciate you coming along and thank you for watching. Goodbye.